It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to discuss Xerox's reinvention as I see it. A lot of things going on over there at Xerox. We all just recently read where Xerox finished the sale of its Peru and Ecuador direct operations. Xerox looking at geographies all over the world. Should we be direct? Should we use dealers? Xerox is going to make a lot of challenging decisions. And some of those decisions they make are going to challenge relationships that Xerox has with not only end users, but resellers themselves. But those decisions have to be made. Those challenges have to be met. Navigating through a reinvention is not for timid dreamers. It's rather for the boldest realist. It's the realist who delivers what the dreamer with unrealistic optimism continues procrastinating. It is the realist who delivers what the dreamer with unrealistic optimism continues procrastinating. In our industry, we have way too many unrealistic, optimistic dreamers. They're living in fantasy, and they're refusing to address the realities all around them. And folks, I got to tell you something right now. You know, reinventing a publicly traded company, it's like out of shape old men taking their shirts off in public. Let me just pull the blinds up here for a second. Holy crap, nobody wants to see that. I'm not going to say if that's a picture of me or not. But ladies and gentlemen, no one wants to see that. They want to wait till you're already done, right? You already did your exercise, you cleaned yourself up, and you don't look like that. Let me shut the blinds. That is really bad looking. But it really is. When you think about what Xerox has to share every quarter, they got to meet with the financial community and give all the details of all their numbers. They got to share the strategy. And folks, what I see with Xerox when they get together with the financial community is I see the leadership at Xerox basing those conversations on reality. And I want to show you all something. It's nonsense versus strategy. I know that if you watch the show regularly, you know I'm not a big HP fan, but when I see their leader quarter after quarter after quarter going to the talk show circuit talking about nonsense. You know, a few years ago he was talking about subscription printing is going to save HP. And now he's talking about AI and computers, a permission to show up. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it's all nonsense. When I listen to the leadership at Xerox and they're talking to the financial community, it's all about strategy. And these are some painful conversations that the leader has to have. Talking about workforce reductions. Talking about evacuating geographies from a direct to a dealer footprint. Folks, they're talking about strategy. They're talking about things they have to do. This isn't a luxury. This is reality based on a disrupted marketplace. So when you think about your leader at your mega dealer, your leader at your own little dealership, are they talking about strategy or are they talking about nonsense? Because nonsense is not going to develop any kind of strategy. It's just going to let you procrastinate in some kind of unrealistic optimism. Let's look at some numbers. For the FY 2022, Xerox's top line revenue was $7,107,000,000. They had an operating profit of 3.9% or $277 million. At the end of FY 2023, they had a 3.1% decline in revenue. Top line revenue was $6,886,000,000. Their operating profit was 5.6%, $386 million. And what this tells me is that Xerox is not chasing revenue at all costs. Xerox went into the marketplace and conditioned the marketplace for a reduction in revenue because they were divesting some assets and he knew it was coming. He also told the marketplace for FY 2024 we could have 3 to 5% decline in revenue. But he's also talking about increasing operating profit. And I know some people are going to say, well, it can't be just about profit. Yes, it has to be about profit. Just like Orlando Bravo said, the time for chasing revenue at all costs must end. It must be about profit. I think about some of my friends in the industry. I got to ask you all a question. Are you still operating at the same cost you were in 2018 and 2019? Have you changed any of those costs, even though volumes dropped? Are you basing your costs today on unrealistic optimism about tomorrow? Are you facing the realities in the marketplace? because you're going to have to face them. And I'm telling you, reinvention, strategy, takes boldness, takes leadership. I want to share a few of these numbers, and I just really want to focus on the EMA and Americas. So these are the geographic areas for HP. In Americas, they did $4.5 billion of the revenue for 2023. That total of $6.8 billion, almost $9 billion, and $2.2 billion of it came out of the EMEA. And when you look at the percentages, you're starting to get a handle on kind of what they're delivering. And I really want to focus in this other category, which is IT hardware endpoint placements, their lease financing income, and other agreements. And folks, I got to tell you, and I've been kind of beating Xerox up about this. I beat Conoco up about this for a long damn time. But we got to get more details, because part of the reinvention and part of these tough conversations are sharing the realities of these deliverables. If we know that we have to be a digital services company, we want to navigate people through the intersection between the digital and physical world, we have to understand how to monetize and profit off that. And Xerox, you really gotta share this, because I think the more you could share that story, because it'll be a successful story. I mean, why wouldn't it be? And even if the revenue is a low percentage, it's irrelevant, as long as the investors can see that it's growing, as long as the investors can see that it's profitable. Because the other category, the other revenue category for the whole company produced $620 million. That's IT hardware endpoint placements and lease financing income. I believe the leasing financing income for Xerox, it could be as high as $300 million a year. And so at the end of the day, we need some more dissection of these numbers. And at Xerox, I got to tell you, accountability causes great attention to reality and management. The more accountability, the more focus on making sure what's being held accountable is well, let's just say this, is exceeding the expectations of those holding it accountable. Reinvention progress update. They hit some milestones in Q1 of 2024. They initiated that 15% reduction in headcount. That was a tough damn thing for Xerox to do. It's painful. But Xerox, like all the other actors in our industry, have to make these adjustments. Geographic simplification. They're going through that process still. Peru and Ecuador are just the start. We'll see how that all lines out. They're trying to simplify the offering, make sure that the stack or whatever they're delivering in the marketplace, people can understand. They know how they're going to be paid off it. They know how the end users are going to benefit from it, and they go out in the marketplace and sell that based in reality. So they got a lot of work to do. They're just starting this thing out, but at least they have a strategy. Has anybody seen the HP strategy? Have they? What's the strategy at the mega dealership you work for? What's the strategy in your dealership? Let's have a sale on the latest A3 model. Hey, we're kicking off a bunch of A4s. Let's go make sure we sell them all. You're going to sell print, everybody that's listening to me, until the day people stop buying it. Selling print in a dealership, selling print in a direct operation is a permission to show up for the industry. It's nothing special. Nothing special at all. It's your job. Managed print services is not a diversification. It's your job. And at the end of the day, another part of your job is to figure out what else you could do in those accounts to drive more revenue and profit for the companies you work for. Track record of culture and continuous improvement they set in place in 2018 to cut $2.2 billion in cost. You think that was something they wanted to share with the whole world? We're going to cut $2.2 billion and get all the flack they got over that? Listening to people talking about how they're only in it for profit. This person's ruthless or that person's ruthless. This is all based in reality. All based in reality. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're working in an environment and they're not talking about cost cutting, you're in the wrong environment, because they're not facing reality. They're not facing reality. There has to be cost cutting to align the industry with the industry's realities. Adjusting to shifting value propositions must be based in reality. I think about Xerox and their marketplace, their 30,000 contracts. 90% of the Fortune 500. More than 250 clients with annual revenues excess of $1 million. 175,000 contracts in the mid-market business. Ladies and gentlemen, Xerox has a massive myth. And it's just a matter of what are they going to do with that myth? How are they going to align the value proposition from Xerox to that end user, to the dealers? Because there has to be an alignment, right? Because reality's changed. Nobody values print like they did when Xerox was invented those many, many years ago, right? Oh my gosh, they don't value it anywhere near like they valued it when it was invented. Think about when Xerox came into the marketplace, what were they doing? My God, they were wiping out secretarial pools and had to type a whole bunch of documents because there was no other way to get duplicates. I mean, think about it. You had all these people typing with carbon paper. Oh, I need one more copy. Someone have to sit down there and retype it. It's totally insane. You think about what business processes were changed when the copy machine came to be. And now they have to do it again. They have to figure out what are they going to bring into the marketplace to create a value proposition where those end users they support and service are wowed by. And that's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. What new partners can Xerox sell its current value proposition to? I've talked about this before, but what new partners can they get together with and sell their proposition to? Whether those are ISVs, I mean, folks, telephony, what new partners? Think about this question. What new partners will change Xerox's value proposition? Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we all need to be looking at. It's not about the value proposition we have today. We're going to deliver print equipment till the day people stop printing. Our industry does it. We're just going to do it a whole lot less. We're going to make a whole lot less money on it. But what new partners will change Xerox's value proposition? In your dealership, what new partners will change your value proposition? What can you add to your deliverable that excites those end users you service and support and gets them to say, wow? Intelligent document processing. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at what Xerox is doing with intelligent document processing, IDP, it's pretty phenomenal. You need to go to the website and read through this. These are things that can definitely change a value proposition at the end user level. These are things that they could help their dealer community navigate through. They'll need expertise. They'll need different expertise than they had in the print world. They have to figure out, how do we balance the expertise we have in the print sector with the expertise we need? What are we willing to invest in the expertise we need to deliver intelligent document processing? Folks, there has to be so many realignments. And unfortunately, a lot of these realignments that the industry needs are going to be based on human capital. And that's a scary thing for our industry. That makes leaders insecure. If leaders are insecure of their place in the future, you know what they do? They procrastinate ever going to the future. They sit in limbo and status quo. They're afraid to challenge themselves because they might not meet the challenge. And leadership has to recognize that. And leadership has to deal with that. Leveraging techniques and processes, transforming unstructured data into actionable insights. Think about what Xerox can bring to the table: AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing, navigating the intersection between the physical and digital worlds. It's all right there in Xerox's vision. Can they take that vision and execute on it? Will they base that execution on realities? Will they make the hard decisions they need to make, regardless of how the marketplace reacts? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot in today's episode. I'll finish up tomorrow because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.